Hello, everyone. Welcome to United and Everything Football Podcast. It's great to come your way once again to this beautiful podcast. It's a back-to-back edition. You've been calling for it, so just a day or two interval, we are coming your way with another exciting edition of this podcast. A lot has been happening. I mean, after Diogo. Oh God.
Jot has passing.
Diogo Jota's passing. It's still very haunting. I mean, a lot has come or a lot has happened afterwards. The burial has been completed. Yesterday, if you watched the Club World Cup, or the day before yesterday, if you watched the Club World Cup, you could see the tears flowing from Ruben Neves and a few other players ahead of the game. And it was quite an ordeal. Right after the game, Neves was in Portugal to carry the coffin of his very good friend. If you remember, Atapoku was saying that we should check up on that guy because they looked like they were extremely close. If you haven't had the opportunity to read a tribute that he wrote for him, please do well and find it and read. But it was very sad. Our players were there. Diogo Dalot. I was confusing Diogo Dalot and Diogo Jota. That's why I paused for some time. Diogo Dalot, Bruno Fernandes were all there with their spouses to support the family and all of that. And there is this interesting commentary on where was Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, that's not what we are here for. Interesting. Well, but we are here to talk about a lot of things. Diego Leon has finally been announced.
Let me just say something on the Ronaldo thing.
Yeah.
It takes me back to when Kobe Bryant died. When everybody, those who follow basketball.
Yeah.
When Kobe Bryant died, not too long ago, Stephen A. Smith, he happens to be one of the very popular hosts of basketball programs, and he's had a feed with LeBron James, and he brought up a point about LeBron James not attending Kobe Bryant's funeral. And very soon, Twitter blew up to sort of correct him and say he was at the funeral, but he insisted that not to take away the real purpose of the funeral.
Yeah.
He insisted that no camera should be put on him. He would not speak at the funeral. He wants everything to be about the reason why everybody is there, which is Kobe Bryant himself.
Exactly.
I take this all the way back to what transpired today on social media concerning the fact that Ronaldo wasn't present at the funeral. He's the leader and captain of Portugal's national team, and he should have been there. Not to make an excuse for him, but sometimes those kind of people, when they do show up, the focus is no longer about the reason why everybody should be there on that particular day. It becomes about something else. The media attention becomes about something else. And sometimes you have to make a decision as to not to be there so that the focus is on why everybody should be there. It's a tough decision at times. Some people may not understand it. But in the end, sometimes it's the best decision.
I agree with you.
So people should calm down. Those who are complaining don't have a better relationship with Jota than Ronaldo had a relationship with. At times, for the sake of everybody else, it should not be about you. It should be about him. Just to put in a word.
It's a very legit point that you've made there. Ronaldo desires not to take any shine away from the whole event because it's not about him. And I mean, if he decides not to go, and you see, there are things that we see and there are things we don't see. The relationship people have with other people, it's not everything that is public. You have absolutely no idea what probably has been communicated. Have anyone asked why perhaps Mohamed Salah also wasn't there? Because I don't think I've seen any picture of Salah also there as well, right? I mean, a lot of these things do happen. Perhaps so many issues.
There must be compromises sometimes.
Exactly. And not every...
Imagine Portugal's captain steps into a very small village in Portugal somewhere that they rarely ever see Ronaldo.
I mean,
trust me, it may become something else altogether.
It takes a whole lot, but
and
that's just by the by.
that's not why they are there.
That's just by the by. I mean, we it happens. I mean, it's Ronaldo, and he generates a lot of conversations. He generates a lot of talking points. So if he was there, people would talk. If he's not there, people would talk. So he has to make
Exactly.
a decision to do to in the best interest of the family and everyone. So basically that is that. All right. So let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll discuss Diego Leon joining Man United, some of the words that he's shared, and also and what it means for him in his career. And we'll talk about the unfortunate five. We call them the unfortunate five. Some players have been asked not to come to Carrington for preseason yet. If you watched about 3 episodes ago, we had an episode with Sicho. Kwame made some very interesting comments about how some teams, in their quest to ensure that certain players don't come to disrupt the kind of environment they are trying to create, take certain measures. So you can go and check it out on that particular episode where Kwame, I mean, made those calls. I'm sure he will try and reiterate all those points here when we talk about the unfortunate five here on United Everything Football. And also, we'll be talking about Cunha getting the number 10 shirt. And our coaches are back at Carrington. The Carrington cameramen captured them entering the training ground. So we'll talk about that. It means preseason is starting next week. What it means is that we will have a lot more coverage for you because there will be a lot to talk about. The games will be happening, the training sessions, the players coming in and everything. So we'll be covering a lot here for you here on United and Everything Football. Let's make a quick turnaround. When we come back, we delve straight into all of these issues and more here on United and Everything Football. All right, thank you very much. Welcome back to United and Everything Football Podcast. Remember to subscribe. Yes, pause the video. Let's pause the video. All right. Subscribe if you haven't. Press the like button if you haven't. Yes, press the like. Give us the likes because the like is what helps this podcast go far. All right. It sends us into various points, or it sends us to various and makes us very popular as well. So please do help us with your likes. It's very important so other people can also get the opportunity to watch. And also remember to also share with your friends, your friends, United fans who perhaps do not know about the podcast. Let them enjoy what you're also enjoying. Kwame, let's talk about Diego Leon, a young man that's come with a lot of fire. He said people think he's coming to play to go on loan and all of that, but he's here to fight. He's here to give his best for Manchester United. He has finally signed as our left back, 18 years old from Paraguay, a small village in Paraguay. I saw some picture of him on a run on is it was it on a horseback or something. But some years down the line, he has come to Man United. What do you
On a
make
cattle ranch. On
on
a
a
cattle ranch.
cattle ranch? Yes, that's the ranch.
Oh yeah. Onye No, Ninchi with his
Onyenchi,
father.
Onyenchi.
Hustle. Proper
Ah,
hustle from
proper one.
how they say from grass to grace or grace to grass. Which one is it? I don't even know how.
Whichever way we
Everything is upside down.
exactly. So he's finally signed. He's finally um a United player. What's your thought on this whole Diogo Leon? What do you think the plan would be for him as he's come to Man United?
Originally, we've read from very reliable journalists, including the Academy Scoop.
Yeah,
If everybody knows Academy Scoop, they give
yeah,
a lot of insights into
yeah.
players who would pass through the academy. The plan
Mm-hmm.
from months ago is that he is to come into the team and then play under 21s,
Yeah.
and then we carry on from there. But he would be part of the preseason squad, and I think that is where the boy is taking some sort of inspiration from. That there may be people who may be thinking that he's just coming to either play academy football or go out on loan. I'm sure he's read. The club may not have communicated that to him directly, but he has probably read a lot of people say that he would probably end up going on loan and all that. But he's saying he's here to prove a point during preseason and then make the spot his own. And the spot is actually up for grabs if you deep it. If you deep it, Luke Shaw, by many accounts, isn't considered as a left wing back anymore.
Yeah.
The only reason why Luke Shaw is not part of the unfortunate five, we'll get to the unfortunate five, is that Martinez is injured. It's like, you see sometimes with Luke Shaw, something happens. Something always happens, and then there's a reason to keep him. We are short at left centre back.
Yes.
Because of Martinez's injury. If Martinez was 100% fit, he would probably be part of the list of players who will be looking to move on because he's been here for way too long. But he's going to survive another season, unfortunately. It is what it is. But when you look at the left wing back spots, it's just Dogu who is primed to play there almost like as a starter. But then behind him is where you would say, who else? With one of the unfortunate five happens to be Taro Malasa, who has 1 year left on his contract. I'm thinking that's
come so quick.
So quick. It's because he spent 2 years having ACL issues. So basically, he just wasted most of his time at Manchester United. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Sometimes some players are just unlucky. I feel he's been unlucky, but we can't wait for him.
Yeah.
We waited for him for 2 years without signing a left back. He didn't come. He didn't come in time. Big clubs just can't.
I mean, sometimes certain injuries sort of set you back
a lot.
Mentally, physically, it draws you back. And today, for instance, I'm making an example to a group of people that the unfortunate injury for Jamal Musiala, we have to pray for him, because when you are a young player and you go through such an ordeal, I mean, if you are not careful, you may never come back the same. Ansu Fati went on a long stretch, and he's never been the same again. So we always have to pray for some of these players anytime they go away for a very long time. Yeah, Kwame, make your point. Yeah.
Yeah, Malasa, unfortunately. So I feel sad for him. I actually feel bad for him because it's not through his fault that he didn't make it at Manchester United, but we can't wait.
Yeah.
Harry Amas is the other one who we tried to loan out in January, but the boy insisted on staying. So if you look critically behind Dogu, the spot is up for grabs. Leon is coming in to fight for a place with Harry Amas for the spot. And if you look at the physical, the form of this boy,
he's a tank.
we have to ask Grok a few questions on Twitter to tell us whether it's really 18 or not. Because that's a big boy.
The big boy.
He's a big boy for an 18-year-old.
Big boy, yeah.
You want pleasant surprises like what we saw Aiden Haven do when he had his opportunity, right? Because this boy has been specially scouted by the man with the eyes, special eyes.
Wilcox.
Right? Wilcox. And so he would come in and want to prove a point.
Yes.
We all want to be pleasantly surprised that this boy just sticks to preseason like a man who means business. I remember a couple of stories with players who did that in the past. Kolo Toure, he was moved straight from Ivory Coast to Arsenal. And as Wenger said, the very first training session, he kicked everybody, including him, as Wenger on the touchline. The boy went mental. He was just kicking everyone. And the last straw that made him make a decision was he actually tackled him as Wenger on the touchline. And then he told him that, it's okay. You will make it. You're a national player. You stay. You're not going back. You're not going back to Ivory Coast. You're not going anywhere. And yeah, you proved your point. What I'm trying to say is this boy is coming from a hustler's background. You see, if you look at his background, whenever I see him with pictures and videos from Paraguay, you can tell that he comes from a very rural, very, very humble beginnings. And his dad, what his dad told him before he went was quite straightforward. Don't go fuck up the next 4 years. Go there and make sure you make the absolute maximum of the next 4 years and be a Manchester United player. So what I expect is for this boy to go in there as a South American, typical of them, and Marcos Rojo everybody. When I say Marcos Rojo everybody, just go kick everybody in training, clear everything, show them that you mean fucking business, and make that spot your own. I would not be surprised if he beats Harry Amaz to the spot, because I am one of those people who is not completely convinced about Harry Amaz's future prospects when it comes to being an established Manchester United player. I know a lot of people will not agree with me,
I
but
mean,
I
I
have
mean, physically he's not there. Technically he's there, but physically that's where the problem is. He
I have a
is.
problem with small players in the Premier League. Like when you're small, I have a problem. Like instantly,
Yeah.
when you're small, I'm like, you know me, like the whole Angel Gomez issue. I'm like, no,
When you are small, you have to be as dirty as Bernardo Silva.
you
That
have
kind
you
of
have to be you have to have something. If you're not that dirty, yeah, you have to be
extra,
exceptionally good. That's what I see. Like if
extra
you're
technical.
that small, you have to be extra technical, not just ordinary technical.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
between him and Armas, I go like, yeah, go grab it,
Yeah,
make that spot your one. Competition breeds the best out, brings the best
yes,
out of people. So
that's
let's
true.
just see what happens in
That's
pre-season.
true.
I'm excited to see what it brings us.
That's true.
Sometimes the two cities players who turn out to be good. I think it was bought for $4 million,
Yes.
right? With
Like $5
with
million
add-ons
dollars. $5 million with I think 2 million.
with add-ons of $4 million. No, I think it's $4 million with add-ons of $5 million.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah, per the athletic.
that's
That's
very.
peanuts, peanuts.
It's just like how much Liverpool bought Andy Robertson for. I think around 7 million or so, and
From Hall, yeah.
it turned out to be a very. I was looking for his quote or some of the thing he wrote on Instagram when
Mm.
the deal was
Let me see what
completed.
I can quickly pull it.
First of all, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity to
Oh,
defend such a
there you have it.
great badge as Man United. I promise to give my best every day in training, on the pitch, and off it. Thank you to the club for the trust and to my family for always being by my side. I hope to bring a lot of joy to all the Man United fans and everyone who supports me on this journey. One more goal achieved from Paraguay to the world. Let's go, Red Devils. So that's what he posted
Mm.
on Instagram. I mean,
While we're waiting for a signing, we go on. Yeah.
we go on. Yes, those are people are going.
Not the one people were expecting.
Exactly, exactly. But just as we are talking, I'm just seeing a link that has come, and
Mm.
it says that United is it's not a legit source. Let me we tier our sources, tier one, tier two. I wouldn't know which tier to put this one, but it's not a tier one source. But what it is saying is that United are making a move to sign free agent Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'm not too sure how true it is, but it's from
Is it from reluctant Nico?
yeah, reluctant Nico, yes.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Keep doing.
That's what I'm saying. It is neither a tier one or tier two source. So, but that's just by the by. That's just by
This
the
is
by.
bottom tier
Bottom
sauce.
tier source. Bottom tier source. I just wanted to bring it your way so we could see. But let's look at well when you are recording, a lot of things come. I'm just seeing David Onsen report that West Ham received an offer from Spurs to sign Kudus, bid worth 50 million. Turned down. They turned it down.
You
This
see,
just
this is the thing. When you look at people turning bids of 50 million, 55 million down,
then you
then
know
you say to yourself
what
that this Mbumo thing, we must as well just give them what they want and just keep it moving.
ah,
I mean, people who didn't even perform to that level are
they are
being
turning them
uh,
down.
they're telling that the Gitsons, how much the Gitsons cost Chelsea? 55
Gators
million.
cost almost 55 million, yes.
And this guy Pedro
Yeah,
Joao
Pedro
Pedro.
55 plus including a sell-on clause. Including a sell-on.
Yeah, so come on, man.
Charlie, Charlie, Charlie.
It gets to a point to
They,
say to yourself,
and you know how much Nottingham Forest is rejecting from Newcastle
Elanga, you know.
Elanga, and all of these things. So I'm sure Brentford are sitting quietly and like, see, all these players they didn't perform as well as Mbumo did, but see how much United is trying to play a fast one on as well. That's it. I hear the talks are still ongoing between Spurs and then West Ham. That's just them. I just saw it while
Wow. Musiala got off lucky. It's just 4 to 5 months. He'll be back at the start of next.
Oh, that's great. That's
You
great.
have a whole half a season to prepare before that.
I thought we're praying that it was just a dislocation and not a complete break or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
it's a complete break. It's a
It's a
broken
complete
left
break, right?
fibula. Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay, okay.
several damage. But it's Germany, see, don't worry. That's what Germans do.
They'll
Take
take
care of
care of
the
it.
health system. They'll
So,
fix you, inject some serums and
somebody wrote in the comment section, hey, I didn't know Kwame is a doctor. It is me that I don't call him Doku. Me
you
that I
don't
don't call
you
him.
don't show me enough respect, so people
I
don't
don't
know.
see him. I don't see him like that too. The way people see him, I don't see him like that too.
Give me the respect I deserve. In fact, henceforth you have to start calling me doc. You've never called me doc in your life.
anyway, let's talk about the unfortunate five. So yesterday, multiple sources, and when multiple sources release the news like that, you know that it is a briefing from the club. For those of you who don't understand, there are times where the club make certain things very public and put it out there, and there are times where they brief journalists who report on the club. So yesterday, a briefing of such nature happened, and it was that players such as Sancho, Anthony, Rashford, Garnacho, and Tyrone Malacia have been asked not to come to Carrington next week when season.
Just to avoid confusion, let's report it accurately.
Okay.
The report says that
Yes.
those players asked to leave Manchester United.
Yes.
So the club has
been
asked them to stay away.
Yeah, we
Can
exactly.
you hear? Because do you know what I'm saying? You should say
I
that.
know that
You should
the
report.
other people, okay, the other players have come to say that we don't know anything about it. They are rather asking us not to come. They are rather the ones that are asking us not to come. So basically,
Let me ask you, what do you make of this whole thing?
Oh, but it's a club. This one day we know is a club. I mean,
It's PR. It's PR.
It's just a club playing dirty. I mean, just to ensure that you normally don't have the players fighting back, but this time around they've decided, and I'm sure I know the players that are fighting. I know them.
See, the issue is, just about 1 hour or 2 hours before, Rashford's PR people were sending info out that they are
he's
ready to
to come.
return for pre-season. So it is clear that 2 hours later, what the club had briefed everybody else was a PR thing.
Yes.
The club has asked them not to come.
Don't come.
But see, it's a bit of both, where if we go through the past 12 months, a lot of things have happened. I don't want us to go all the way back on every individual case.
That's true.
But all I want to say is a lot of bridges have been burnt between certain players, the manager, and the club itself.
True.
At a point in time, the manager had made it very clear that he did not want certain players at the football club. And certain players also, through interviews and press conferences and whatever, had also made it clear that they did not want to be at the club. So let's just say there was a mutual agreement that they don't have futures at the football club.
Yeah.
But what has surprised me is how we have dealt with it. I came to sit here 3 episodes ago and said that this is how ideally we should handle the situation as a big club. As to whether I believed we could do what we actually did, I had zero confidence that we're actually going to do that, because I said, I think the following episode, that Manchester United, I know us. In the end, we will still end up babying these players. But to my pleasant surprise, we've acted like a big club at last. Yeah. A year ago, when we talked about this whole new football structure coming in, if you remember, I think we had this episode with Fifi Manfred, where we spoke about what this new structure should mean for Manchester United, where the manager, now head coach, let's refer to these, let's use these titles properly so that we can make more meaning of this conversation. You have the head coach there who makes football decisions, right? Concerning his squad, concerning how he wants to play and everything. But when there are issues between the manager and the players, in the past, it would have been the manager trying to fix everything and trying to make everything right and going to war with these players. But no, ideally, that should not be the situation. You should have football people who can handle matters concerning the players and the manager. And it should not fall on the doorsteps of the manager alone. So now we have a sporting director in Jason Wilcox who would step in and go like, we have to solve this problem. If the manager doesn't want these players, the club should take it upon themselves to fix the problem. Let's solve the problem now between the players and the football club. You are surplus to requirements. You are no longer required. You don't have to come to training and face this manager awkwardly every day, shake hands. Meanwhile, you have issues with each other. You get what I'm trying to say? In the past, we've done that. We've allowed players to return to training. Sancho returning to training with Eric Ten Hag. What is it going to do? It's not going to bring anything. It's just going to bring a lot of tension. It's negative even for the dressing room. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So now the club steps in and says, you know what? You want to leave? We may have said we don't want you, but you've also said you don't want to be at the football club. Now you have to leave. So step aside. Don't even come and start training now. Funny enough, there are contractual obligations, like we said in the past. So the word is you can come and access our medical facilities. You can access our rehab facilities. Yeah, of course, they have to say that. It's a very political.
It's your place of employment in the first place. So you can.
Exactly. So you can come. You can. The word is you can. You can also decide to stay at home, but you can come. What they have done is rendered you redundant. We have not fired you. Because if we fire you, we are liable to suits and all those things. But we have rendered you redundant. So if you don't use your sense to know that you are no longer required, then it's up to you. You can come and do gym work. Come there and sit on the bicycle and go to the doctor and then do some lab tests and everything. But you cannot train with the first team while they're training. I think the plan is by the time we leave for preseason, you can come around on the pitch and kick some balls. Hopefully, by the time we return from the tour, that's what I mean. The tour, then you also not be there, so that the manager doesn't have to see you at all. That is how.
Or even when we return from the tour, you go and train in under 21s. That's as simple as.
If you decide that you would just sit there and waste time, then you end up at under 21s. The coach doesn't have to take you through sessions. So yes, this is the club taking it upon themselves to protect the manager's interest and to protect the club's interest and deal with the situation rather than the manager having to have an awkward situation of dealing with the situation by himself. This is how we all hoped that a new structure would work, and it's in full effect. But for them to have the balls to strip Marcus Rashford off his jersey number, because we're quite skeptical about how to treat the Rashford and Garnacho situation because of their academic status and what they actually mean for the academy. Let's not play down their success stories for the academy, because they are whatever we see, however we think, these guys are still inspiration for a lot of young players who come through the football club. Not in terms of their behavior of late, but being few people who have gone through the academy and made it into the first team and made considerable number of appearances for the first team. Marcus Rashford starts for the first team. It's one of the best of any academic graduates ever. Let's not play it down. About almost a decade of service, over 200 goal contributions, over 400 appearances for the football club. And he has won trophies. He scored in big games, scored in big finals. He's donned the number 10 shirts and donned it well. But it comes to a point where he's no longer the player we hoped he would be. And his behavior over the past couple of seasons has not been admirable. A couple of seasons ago, he had his best season of his life, but his form has also been inconsistent along the way. It's time. He's my guy, but when you know it's time, it's time. He's probably delayed it way too long, but it's his time. It may not have been classy stripping him of the jersey, but it's necessary. Absolutely necessary. It sends a very strong message to everybody else. Future signings, current players. Now, this is not the old Manchester United. That's the part that pleases me the most. Now, when you are bringing your clients there, don't start to think that the old Manchester United, you can come and put your client there, and if it is time for you to go, you start playing some games.
It is not a comfortable environment
Exactly.
for you to
You
come
have to
and do
prove
something,
yourself.
prove yourself.
You have to prove yourself. Otherwise, in a couple of seasons, like
You
Omar Barada used to do at
will be off.
Manchester City, in a couple of seasons, you should be off. I kept that quote in bookmarks on Twitter,
Mm,
on both my personal as well as our accounts. The reason why is I always want to refer to it because you can't do one thing at a successful organization
mhm,
and not apply the same principles at Manchester United, a
mm,
club that desperately needs such principles to be implemented.
yeah,
There are a lot of players that after 2 seasons, they have not performed well at Manchester
mm,
United
mm,
and should leave.
yeah,
I don't know what Rashford's Højlund is still doing at Manchester
mm,
United.
mm,
The only reason why he's not on the list is there is no guarantees that we are signing the desired centre forward that we want. But I believe that if we do sign a centre forward, he won't be a Manchester United player. There are a few people that are not on the list yet
mm,
because we are not so sure whether we'll be able to replace them.
yeah,
Even our goalkeeper is one of them.
mm, mm,
If there happens to be fans, if these unfortunate five are able to be sold, they open a huge,
mm.
and I'm sure you'll get to that tweet where we'll discuss the potential sales, how much you can make, and all that. There'll be a whole huge amount of money we can make. Then it will mean that certain players who have not been named yet suddenly become touchable. They will no longer be untouchable, they become touchable. So hopefully we get to that point. Me, I desperately want us to get to that point because you have to back this manager and back him properly. So when we start the season, there are no excuses.
Let me go for a quick break. When I come back, I would give my say on this particular issue, and then we will talk about Cunha, whether what sort of magic he brings in this number 10 shirt. We will give you a few
Mm.
historical accounts of the people that have wore this number 10 shirt and what they've brought to us as a club, and we'll see how much of importance or how much of significance it will have on Cunha and his life at Man United. So remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Also remember to like the videos. Please, yes, like the videos. I can't stress on that enough. Like the videos. Like the videos. And also share your comment with us. So let's make a quick turnaround. When we come back, a lot more to discuss here on United and Everything Football. Hi there, welcome back to United and Everything Football Podcast. We are back here to give you a lot more here on United and Everything Football. Just gone by, we just discussed the unfortunate five and the information they gave to the club and what the club has told them to do and what some people from their camp are saying they never said. So that is the unfortunate five. But by way of my own personal views, I believe it's a step in the right direction from the club for us to be able to revamp the environment that we have currently. We need a culture shift. There's been so many times where we've discussed here and on various platforms in our WhatsApp groups and our various platforms that the culture at United hasn't been one that supports high level performance and that the culture has been very toxic. Now, I will mention some three players who have been a subject of one disciplinary issue or the other. Sancho is one of them. Openly challenged the coach on social media. Alejandro Garnacho has been a subject of disciplinary issues. Marcus Rashford has also been a subject of disciplinary issues. A lot of it from Eric Ten Hag and also from the coach Ruben Amorim. So clearly, and for Malasia, Kwame explained, it's just unfortunate. It just didn't work out. And the club feels that his future lies away from us. For Anthony, no disciplinary issues or whatsoever. It just hasn't worked out as well. And it
He
looks
doesn't have the physicality for the Premier League. That's how they
exactly.
disqualified him.
It just
Amorim said that they disqualified him, but then his agent got pissed.
it just hasn't worked out. But 3 out of the 5 have been purely on disciplinary issues as well. And for Sancho, Sanwasa, Isha, he just doesn't have it to play at Man United. He just doesn't have it. Mentally, he's not there. As for Garnacho's petulance and his rants and unnecessary antics with his friends on social media and everything. It is well documented. So it is clear that the club is trying to move or shift away from that. Because you barely have, you look through the current squad, those that are left, and you barely have people having all of these petty issues that we see on social media. So Amarim is trying as much as possible to have a core group where he feels he can work with. And as a result of that, the club is doing everything to back him in that regard. And if you look at all of these players, one way or the other, the club had conversations with them before the season ended. Way before the season ended, there was a conversation between Garnacho, his team, and the club, where it was clearly stated that his future lies away from the club. As for Rashford, it was during January. Sancho's own was last summer, and even a fee was agreed that if he wants to move away from the club, this is how much the club is willing to accept by way of an offer for him. So all of these things are there. So it's nothing out of the blue. We are very clear that these guys have no future at Man United. So why bring them in to come and mix up with people who have assured or guaranteed futures at the club? The reason why perhaps we are not forcing a Luke Shaw out, Kwame has already stated that there's been circumstances that sort of warrant that he stays around. Otherwise, we'll shut up with our numbers. If not for that,
do you know what? I think him and Mount, his friend Mount, they have just one more
they just
season.
have one more season. I've
It's
said
such that.
that. I told you that in our personal chat when I was saying players like, and these are players on 200 plus,
Mhm.
and the
We'll
club
clear
is
them
doing
all. We'll
everything
clear them
to
all.
reduce that. So if this season they do not stay fit and contributes positively to the club, definitely next season they will be part. You see the way these other five have been treated. They will also be told by the end of the season to look for other clubs to be able to join. So
And that speaks for the culture shift you're talking about,
that's
because
it.
they wouldn't even make it hard, because
We
they'll
did
realize, oh, last year
we did it to a
this is
group.
what happened.
So
So
please,
it's coming. It's
that's
coming.
that's what that's what we want to do, and that's exactly how we want to operate currently. And for me, what happened or that announcement or that briefing that was given to the media is a win. It's a huge win for us. It's a significant step for us as a football club. And it's very important that we take note of that. It's very, very, very important. Now, what is left to be done is getting in players, signing players for Manchester United.
Do you believe? I want to ask you a question. Do you
Yeah.
believe that the club could risk buying players
Yeah.
with the hope or the notion that definitely these five players would be sold? Because sometimes if you keep waiting and waiting and waiting, despite the fact that these players have been frozen out, their agents can still decide to make things far more
Difficult. I
difficult
mean,
than
we've
it
seen it
actually.
before. We've seen it before.
So if you think you're just simply going to wait for them to move before you seek to replace them, because it's a balancing act. You don't want a bloated squad.
Yeah.
You don't want a situation where you are bringing in players and then these players end up staying, and then now what do? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But what Chelsea did was we are signing.
Yeah.
We are
That's
signing the
so
players, and we'll
so
make
so
sure.
so I was going to answer your question this way.
Uh,
The club has identified priority areas of which
mhm,
they have made budgetary allocations for. And if you
mhm.
observe our PSR, we have about 180 million pounds to spend free. It doesn't mean we have to exhaust everything. It doesn't mean we have to
Yeah.
exhaust everything.
You have to use it for a 3-year period, so you can't exhaust
So
everything.
you can't exhaust everything. But the club has consistently said that they have a plan, and I believe they truly have a plan. I believe they truly have
Mm.
a plan. What a club is trying
I'm
to do.
concerned because
Mm,
we share the same targets with certain teams.
yeah,
We've already missed up. Fans should not forget this. So it's been a very bad window so far. If you
absolutely.
really take everything into consideration, the fact that we started missing out on Cunha,
Mm,
we missed out on the lap.
mm,
We are second choice for Gyökeres. It's not been good. We are struggling to complete Mbumo after we signed only Cunha.
yeah,
If other targets we share other targets with other clubs, and we are not proactive. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You're not proactive. You're going to continue to miss out on certain players you would want to sign,
Exactly.
just based off the fact that you are waiting for certain players to leave the football club before. Hence my question.
I believe the club knows exactly how these things will play out, especially with the players, the outgoing players, and how difficult it is for us to be able to offload them.
What do you
So
think the club should do?
and this is what I think the club would do. Target the priority areas. The priority areas being the attacking areas where we lacked goals last season. And that's what the club has. If you look at the grand scheme of things, the club is seeking to get the 2 10s and a striker because we're lacking goals. If we're able to solve that problem, I know people will come at me, but we can be able to live with that midfield problem at least for a season. Because whatever be the case, these 5 people are not coming into the club again. They are not coming into the squad again. By the end of the transfer window, we would have found solutions for them. Weren't people worried about what will happen to the bloated Chelsea players at the end of the day? At the
They
end of
cleared almost all of them. They cleared almost all of them. I think only Chilwell stayed that
only
summer, but
Chilwell
then even the
stayed, and
next
in
6 months
January
later,
he was.
yeah.
So I believe before the window ends, truly before the window ends, we would have found solution for all of these players. All these 5 players would have left the club, and if we are,
I think you're right.
yeah,
You're right.
we would find
But
so key areas to strengthen is the attacking areas. Get those attacking areas fixed. Worst case scenario, we can be able to live with that midfield. We can be able to live. If main
would you be able to live with a goalkeeper?
what choice do we have? We have absolutely no choice than to live with that.
I feel okay, it's a wish. At this
It's a
point,
wish.
what
It's
you're
a
saying
wish.
is absolutely right.
Yes.
My wish is these players would move out early, because if they move out early, the kind of funds that we have, it will be inexcusable not to make further signings beyond the 3 forwards that you speak about. I 1000% agree with you that 3 forwards change the outlook of this whole squad. 3 proven forwards, actually, not just some 2x4 forwards, proven forwards, because what you are losing is a lot of supposed firepower. We're literally throwing away all our firepower because we are getting rid of everybody.
Yeah.
We maybe end up getting rid of Hoylund on top of it if you sign a striker. So like it's out with the old and in with the new.
Yeah.
The firepower was toothless, so you have to replace them with people who actually do have bullets that fire.
Absolutely.
And we are not in so many competitions. So 3 can do for now, in addition to the Amats and the Bezexis and the Bruno Fernandes, and so can all play a role up front. If these 5 people move, Kwame, I don't see any excuse why we can't take further steps in signing a goalkeeper in the midfield.
Absolutely agree. I mean, that's basically that we need money to come in.
So it's a wish. It's a wish.
As I said, we need money to come in. If we are able to find a way to get these players out of the window, then clearly we have an opportunity to, add more players to it, where we can be able to fix the midfield problem, because it has already been stated that we want an athletic 8 and we want a goalkeeper. And if possible, we even want a right wing back to come into the squad. So all of these dynamics.
Or Ineos should take the risk.
Yeah.
Take the risk. Sign the players. Sign these players. Like sign them. Sign the players for whatever amount of money. If you want your central midfielder, go get your prime ideal central midfielder that you want. Go get a goalkeeper to replace Onana. See, the reason why I'm saying these things is when you leave these problems unsolved, ultimately it always comes back to bite. My issue with Manchester United, it's this account, I follow this account, the Swiss Rambo.
Yeah.
He follows me back actually. I'm sure he enjoys my responses to his tweets, so he follows me back. And he always says the United problem is never addressed holistically in any particular summer.
Yeah.
And the ripple effect of it is a bad season and even worse situations to repair the following season. Do you understand? It's almost like as if you don't plug your holes,
every season there is a residue.
The whole Thank you.
The
It keeps getting bigger, and there's more to do just based on the fact that maybe you should have signed 5 players this summer, but you ended up signing 3 players. Next summer, instead of just signing 2 players in addition,
Mm,
because of how bad things have been,
mm.
you would need another
That's
4 players,
true. That's
and then
true.
you end up signing 3 players, and then that one player that you need, you think that you need just one more player, and then the following
That's
season you
true.
probably need another 5 players,
That's
and
true.
the issues become like you never ever
But
plug.
let me tell you what Ineos have done so far in two major summers, what they are trying to do. And that, the reason why I sort of believe we would make progress one way or the other in terms of the kind of signings we want to. If you remember last season, the Ericsson Hag second season, you kept saying something. We need what? A brand new defense. We need a brand new
Mhm,
defense. What did we do?
mhm.
We
We got a
signed
new defense.
Euro, we signed Delict, we added Mazraoui. That was an entirely new backline. If
Mhm.
and these are players that are going to be starters,
We've
regardless of
added Dogo, we've added Heaven, yeah,
heaven. That's about five defenders. Brand new.
and gotten rid of a lot of them except for Shaw and
Maguire.
Dalot,
And
Shaw, Dalot, and Maguire.
Maguire. And
Right.
Martinez. Martinez is also available. So
I always seem to forget him because he's
he's,
always injured.
he's always injured. Right.
It's that.
And then at, last season, what really reared its ugly head was the attacking situation. And what we are doing is trying to get a brand new attack,
Mhm,
a Premier League proven attack. And that's what we are trying
mhm,
to do. Okay. Although last season they brought in a 9.5. So this is how I see them solving the problem. They solve a major problem and attack a particular department, partially. So what they are trying to do again now, buy a brand new attack and find a way to get. So last season, they got us a defensive midfielder in Ugarte, who we are expecting to come good this season.
fair
If
enough.
they get an athletic eight based on the things that we are doing, or based on the sales and other things that would happen, they would have partially added another midfielder to solve that midfield problem that we are talking about. Then
Mhm,
I'm sure next season, or in the summer, or be it in January or in the summer, they are likely to have a significant budget, maybe depending on how the midfield situation plays out, a significant budget to solve that particular problem. You would have solved a key component of the squad in 3 summers, right? Then,
let me ask you a question.
okay.
Is this how Real Madrid would have attacked the problem?
Well, it depends. You see, we have an albatross around our neck, which is called the United tax, right? So
Real Madrid have a tax as well.
I know. But you see, the
My
appeal,
problem is, the reason why I'm saying this is
yeah.
sometimes you have to be aggressive. Hmm?
Mhm.
You don't know how next season is going to be. You don't know how the next 2 years is going to be. You can never ever project into the future.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can only deal with the now.
Mm.
You get what I'm trying to say? You can waste a whole season just based on the fact that you did not address your goalkeeping department.
Mm.
Come next season, because you had a very bad season, you have a plan or you think you've solved your attack.
Yeah. Mm.
But based off the fact that we did not qualify for Champions League, we're not able to do this because we're shipping goods, because you left a certain department unattended
Oh,
to.
yeah.
You would have to do far more than you would have wished that you are
Mm.
going to do in the future
Mm.
to get back to where you want to get back to. You get my point?
I get you.
So what I'm trying to say is sometimes you have to take a risk. It's a leap of faith
Mm.
based on the fact that you have taken a very drastic measure at the very start of preseason by saying these players should stay away.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you can pull up this tweet,
Yeah.
Manchester United can raise about 150 million pounds from the
Yeah.
sale of these five.
Let's get to
Easy,
that.
easy. They can raise 150 if we stick to. That's the negative side of sidelining players.
Mm.
Sometimes you devalue the assets by sidelining them,
Mm.
but certain clubs will still insist on the valuations of these players, irrespective. Even if they do miss out on
that is what we are
the
trying
fees
to
they
do.
want, it will be like it's all part of the cultural reset where you want clubs to now know that this is not the old Manchester United who will give you their assets for 2 cities for cheap. Just like Chelsea, just like Manchester City. We value our assets well, and if you want to come, even Arsenal have been able to address that. I know they don't get huge prizes for their, but if you look at their last couple of seasons, they've got some good money for. They insist on some good money for their players for
And
them
to be fair, even to be fair to Ineos, last season we made some very
made 100 million euros
100 million
exactly.
euros exactly.
This year they can make over 150 million euros.
Yeah. I think you need something. Take us through it. Yeah.
Oh, let me quickly.
Let me. Should I? I have it in front of me. If you don't mind, I can mention it for you.
Okay.
As you go ahead. So Kwame put.
I think I have it. I have it here.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. So ideal window. The key word here is ideal. Ideal means it is hypothetical. It doesn't mean it's facts. For those people who refuse to read and just jump to whatever conclusions in their brains. So I put a Cunha thing in there as 62.5 million pounds, what we've already paid.
Yeah.
In Boomer, what we intend to pay to be able to get him over the line. That's our max. And the rest were from reported stories as to what players will cost. I attached 60 million pounds to either Gyökeres or Watkins. 60 million pounds to Gyökeres because today I read from the Record. Is it Record? Portugal.
Yeah, the Portuguese.
They were saying that they want 80 million euros, but they could do with 70 million euros up front plus 10 million in add-ons. So if you convert 70 million euros to pounds, isn't this just about around 61 million pounds?
Yes.
People who refuse to read. That's the guaranteed fee that he could actually cost. Then there was this Rios guy who has taken the Copa America by storm. Yeah, the guy who plays the Brazilian league. Is it Colombian guy?
He played for how do you call it?
Ecuador or Colombia? I don't know the difference between those two.
Colombia.
He plays for Palmeiras.
He plays for Palmeiras.
He's Colombian.
He's a Colombian.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He's been reportedly linked to us at a very cool price. I think he's 25, 26 years old. I think that's why his price isn't so insane. And then there was Costa, whom has been priced at 60 million euros, his release clause, but they are willing to negotiate it down. So I went let's just say we're able to do good negotiations and bring it to 45 million pounds. Yeah. We're talking about Manchester United making purchases in total of 250 million pounds. That will break our summer record spend. I think the record spend was under Ten Hag when we spent around 235 million pounds. The window we bought Anthony and Martinez and Casemiro.
Yes.
Hey, Ten Hag, you can't do so more. But the Fantastic Five, now we've banished. Anthony, his book value is around 34.5 million pounds, estimated to be around 35 million pounds. Sancho, we want 25 million pounds for, well documented. Garnacho, we even want more. But I've always said to you, I don't think we'll ever get that 70 million pounds this club is asking for. So I was like, 50 million pounds is fair for Garnacho in this window. 5 million pounds for Malacia, chicken change. Rashford, we all know we want 40 million pounds. And Højlund, book value also around 40 million pounds if we sell it. We could make sales of almost 200 million pounds. That's 195 million pounds. Assuming, because we have devalued these assets by putting them on sale and we don't get the prices that we want, at least we should make 150 million pounds from the sale of these players.
Yeah.
If you make 150 million pounds, in addition to our budget of 125 million pounds, you're talking about 275 million pounds we could spend. We know we are not going to go all that high.
Yeah.
But that leaves you with a room of about 275 million pounds you can spend this summer. If you want an elite midfielder, you can get an elite midfielder. If you want a good goalkeeper, you can get that good goalkeeper. If you want a top striker, definitely you should be able to get him. So my point here is the club can take that risk. That's what I would do. If I was sitting at Ineos right now, I know it's a financial risk based off all the numbers we are working with. You know, this club is now a numbers club. We are trying to make sure that everything, we don't want to be paying fines like the way Chelsea and Lyon
and Barcelona and the likes are playing. Aston Villa.
See, I feel some clubs can afford to take those fines and base it on the fact that it's a small price to pay for success. Barcelona will go like it's worth it.
Yeah.
Chelsea now would even go like it's worth it. After all, what's just that small money, and then we are making far more because we've
Their
reached
fans were saying that their qualification to the semi-finals of the
it's taking care of its chicken change. That's my point. But there are smaller clubs like Lyon and the rest who are suffering because of their bad behavior.
Yeah.
But Manchester United, I feel we can take a bit of a risk here. Bring the players that you want in and make sure you get sales before the end of the window to make up for it. At the end of the day, everything will balance out. And you can attack the season properly. I don't want us to have a case where we leave ourselves short and ultimately leave the manager short. And then fans will continue to debate throughout the course of the season. You know where I'm going with this? Oh, we didn't back the manager properly. And then we, because I know the two of us, we have the same thoughts. We feel like even with a forward line, you should be able to do something. We would come and sit here and go like, come on, you don't need 20 players, 20 signings before you can prove that you can coach a good team. I don't know of any manager in this world who needs 10 signings at the goal before he can coach a good team.
That's true.
I feel personally that 5 signings in 5 key positions is enough for you to be able to coach properly. So that is where I want us all to be, that we are all fair to ourselves as fans. You are fair, I'm fair. Those who stand high and die by the manager for whatever reason, they are also fair and go like, come on, 5 signings this summer. You had 2 signings in January. You're talking about 7 players. Yeah. I refuse to count Leon now because he hasn't proved to be a first team player yet. But it could well be 8 players since January if he makes the mark. 8 players in addition to the 5 players that Ineos signed last summer for this particular game model. I'm talking about 13 football players over the past 12 months. No one can tell me then that Ineos haven't done their part in terms of investing in the football team. Because you're talking about about 250 million pounds spent now, about 180 million pounds spent last summer, and about 30 million pounds spent in the general transfer window. Every window they would have spent significant amount of money, bringing in significant amount of players for you to work with. And at that point, we can really say to ourselves that, you know what, it's time to coach. Ruben, it's time to coach. Show us what you've got here. That's where I am.
Not to hold brief for Ineos, but we also have a cash problem right now. That's the reason why we need some of these sales to happen, so we could have.
They need the cash to reflect in them.
Yes, exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. Let's find some money. See, ideally, we wouldn't want to access our credit facility again.
We've overrun it. If you remember, we've overrun it in the last.
We've been paying back small. We've been paying back small. We've been paying back.
Credit. We finished. Ten Hag finished the credit card.
No, the credit card is still accessible. All I'm saying is you can take a risk.
I get your point. I really get your point. I mean, you want us to move from the point where we would make excuses for the coach. That's where you.
No. I want us to move to the point where you make the signings that you need. You say you need an athletic 8. Don't leave out the athletic 8.
Get him.
We've been talking about the goalkeeper. It's clear we all know you need a goalkeeper. You Manchester United. We know you want a goalkeeper. Get a goalkeeper. Don't say for him. I don't like that reference. Get the goalkeeper for the project. Get the athletic midfielder for the project. Get the players for the project. And when we are done, we can all say, 8 Niobi, number 6 Niobi, 3 forwards we have, center backs we have, wing backs we have. The only thing left is good coaching.
Yes.
Then we switch focus from what we need from the squad. And move to what we need the coach to do for the squad to be successful. And when he doesn't pass the test, because everybody knows our fixtures. If he doesn't pass the test, we don't go like, Massa, you can't do the job. move. Let somebody else come and coach. But if you leave him short, I know what is going to happen. You know what is going to happen.
Exactly.
You're going to just sit there and then go back and forth. I mean, I'm tired of the back and forth. Back the manager by bringing in good footballers for the club. And then we would also expect the manager from that point to also do some.
So we've done our part, you to do your part, and let's move forward.
That's all, Kwame.
Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Anyway.
I don't like this year to solve problem. Next summer, next
Oh
summer.
no,
I don't like that too.
you
It
want us
worries
to,
me.
but you see, but the reality is that we can't address what the problems
It
is.
is not a reality. See, it's a false reality.
Also,
If you are aggressive,
we can be able to.
you can address the 5 problems that we have this summer. That's why I asked you if it was Real Madrid. See, Barcelona,
Yeah,
Barcelona.
yeah.
They don't have the money. Oh. Sometimes they don't even have the money.
But they've
But
just
they will
had
go and get the player. And then they will fight La Liga and they will fight every system and fight open levels. They will find a way. But what they want to make sure that they do is that they have the squad to be able to compete. The key word here I'm going to use, the key word is no matter what.
No matter what. Anyway, okay. Let's move to other things. Can Cunha carry the weight of the number 10 shirt? You know, our iconic number is number 7. Now it has been decimated. It has been destroyed completely.
Do you know that? Do you know that number 7? It is Alex Ferguson who started the decimation.
Yeah.
Giving that jersey to Owen, then later to Valencia. I was like, it's just too iconic for you to be passing it on to Valencia and Michael Owen. Michael Owen who was past his best. You see, that was the issue. At first, I was thinking the Owen thing was more like commercial. You get what I'm trying to say? You're trying to make money out of a renowned England international. But then Valencia, it's not commercial. Why do you give Valencia the number 7? What are you doing? Then post Ferguson, we went to do the big one, Di Maria.
Oh, but that one cried. He was a star player.
I know, but 1 year he ran away. He said he can't stay because they've been robbing him and they've been doing something. He ran away. Then we went to go and give it to the pie. The pie too ran away. Where did he go again? It's just been gallivanting. The jersey has just been gallivanting. Ultimately ended up with who? Mason Mount. The Mason Mount cry. What has he done bad? Let's go back to the number 10. Do you know why the number 7 hits me? You know why?
Yeah, I know. David Beckham.
A whole David Beckham won number 7. Now, number 7 just
I know why. Anyway, let's get
What's happening?
The number 10, I mean, since I could remember, I started from Terry Sheringham, came to Ruud van Nistelrooy, to Wayne Rooney, to Zlatan Ibrahimovic, to Marcus Rashford, and now Matheus Cunha. Kwame, we have about 7 minutes more to go. Let's do that and let's talk about preseason before we end.
In the Premier League era, no one has shamed the jersey yet.
Yeah, it's true.
I think he has the character to wear the number 10 jersey. He has Zlatan didn't wear it for long. He wore it in his injury-ravaged second season, so he didn't really do much. But besides, I think everybody else. No, but even see, as for Ibra, I'll give him his respect. He did it in the 9, and then he was just injured for in the second season, so no problem. It's still iconic. He wore it.
Even that season, he wore it just for half a season because in January he had to go to
America. America. Zlatan is Zlatan. Whether he didn't do well in the 10 or not, he's Zlatan. Respect. Legend. I love him. I didn't love him before he came to United. I actually hated him. The way he played for our club, I was like, whoa, what a guy. What a guy. There's some players, when they're on your side, that's when you love them. When they're on the other side, it's not nice. Like Diogo Costa for Chelsea. Chelsea wants to love him, but everybody else has won it admirably, including Marcus Rashford. I would not allow people to make it look like he did not wear the number 10 jersey admirably. He did. He actually did very well in the 10 jersey. To contribute to over 200 goals for Manchester United is not easy by any stretch of the examination. A lot of players who were bought for big money couldn't even score half of the goals that he scored.
Absolutely true.
We wouldn't want to go into Wayne Rooney and then Ruud van Nistelrooy and Teddy Sheringham and all that. Everybody has won it admirably. But what I'll say about Cunha is he has the temperament and the mentality to do it. Right? It's a big jersey to wear. I think he switched at Wolves too from a certain number to number 10 last season.
From 12 to 10.
To 10. Yeah. I think he'll do well. One reason why I feel like he'll do well is he's a very seasoned professional who has been everywhere. And he plays for Brazil too. And he actually starts for Brazil now.
Yeah.
So high pressure moments isn't something that is actually new to him. He's seen it all. And He speaks English.
Mm-hmm.
See, let me tell you why I'm making this reference. If you're the Manchester United number 10 and you are called to communicate and you don't communicate properly, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it all with issues with communication with Ten Hag and all those kind of things.
Yes.
We see how it goes. Things are lost in translation and all that. But his communication skills is actually very, very good. I feel he's going to be a very big player, a huge personality for this football club, and he'll be in front of the media a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
in good times and in bad times, and you would have to be able to defend the badge for us, speak properly. He will do his talking both off and on the football pitch. And on the football pitch, I think he'll do bits. I think we're getting a player who is just getting right into his prime, who loves the football club, who has always shown his admiration for the football club, has always shown to be a fan. Wherever he's been, everybody knows he's a fan.
I remember last season he was on holidays and he was like his friends were asking him and how excited he was to want to play for the club and all of that.
I think he'll seize this opportunity. Ruben loves him, so Ruben will try his very best to make sure that he succeeds. He's coming into preseason too very early, earlier than anybody else, to be able to settle in as quickly as possible. He's going to be a star at Manchester United. We're going to make him a star. Ideally, Manchester United creates superstars. We're not used to the normal Manchester United, right? We don't often buy superstars. Every now and then we do buy one star here and there, but very often than not, the aim is always to create a superstar.
Yeah.
He's 25, 26, but he's not of star level yet. But going to wear the Manchester United iconic number 10 jersey instantly will make him a star. I pray and I hope that he hits the ground running and makes a 15, 20 goal first season. And then you know what? You know that our Brazilian magician is here. He would continue to lift the number 10 jersey.
We'll see how it goes.
Unlike the number 7. Number 7,
the number seven, the coach says, I like, this is how he say, I like Mason Mount. I like Mason Mount. He's my player. He's my player. Anyway.
Oh, there are 12 months time. We'll come back to them.
Let's anyway, let's see what we can do. So remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. It's very, very important to us. So don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. It's always great to have you on the podcast. So we have a few more things to talk about before we conclude today's episode of the podcast. So Ruben Amorim and his players have all come back to Carrington. And his technical team, they are settled. I'm sure they are getting themselves ready to be able to set things up before the players start arriving, God willing, on Monday, so they can go through their medicals and every other thing that they need to do before they start their preseason training and a few other things. So we'll see how it goes. It's interesting. He's always been crying, I want my preseason, I want things to do and all of that. So he gets his team and everything back into shape. But we'll see how things go with regards to that. So preseason starts, and we've promised you, as the preseason is coming, then it means we'll be coming your way a lot more recordings, more videos for you, so you get to enjoy our analysis and all our discussions on all the major issues that will be breaking out. Of course, the transfer window will still be open, so every news that drops will be here to discuss and analyze with Kwame and with our guest here on United and Everything Football. It's been a pleasure coming your way here on this podcast. I was here with Kwame Jubu. We'll see you on the next one in the course of the week. I'm sure by that time the players would have arrived and everything would have come back beautifully, and we would have a great time with you. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. My name is Kwame. I was here with Kwame Jubu. See you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye-bye.